Okay, I think we got this now. Hold on one second. Let me get this refreshed. Just bear with me for 1 second. Okay, it looks like everything is lined up the way it's supposed to, so just bear with me, everybody. I apologize in advance. So, hello everybody, welcome back to the studio. This is Carla, and thank you for joining me for another episode of Throwback Thursday. So, for this Thursday, hold on 1 second. I don't know what my laptop is doing, but okay. Let's show it that it's actually live, but I'm pre-recording this. So, thank you for joining me again, everybody. I apologize. Seems like there's a few little weird things that have changed with YouTube again. Now it's like when I go and hit go live, it actually gives you like a timer. And when I tried it like the first 3 times, my orientation was all wrong, and I don't know, but it looks like it's really good right now. So let's just get through this video. So again, thank you for joining me, everybody, here in the studio, and welcome back to another episode of Throwback Thursday. And we'll be using the Rainbow of Happiness bundle. Now, at this point, in time, the stamp set and the set of dies did not go by the same name. So the stamp set is Rainbow of Happiness, and the set of dies are Brilliant Rainbow. In this video, I didn't realize that I actually did not use any of the dies in the die set. Instead, I used the stamp set. And then I also brought in another item. Now, this wasn't part of this bundle or anything, but there is a cloud punch that can coordinate with this. So I am using that. Let's see, the other thing that kind of went with this, now this was in the January to June 2022 mini catalog. And during that time, we had Sale-A-Bration. So during Sale-A-Bration, one of the free items that you can get out of the brochure was this Sunshine and Rainbow 6x6 Designer Series paper. So everything in here is kind of like themed with rainbows. There's clouds, there's some really cool patterns, and I'm actually using some of this paper. Now there is a pattern in here where you can punch out the clouds using that punch. And then there's another pattern in here that you can actually cut out. Now you can't cut it with the dies, but you can fussy cut the rainbow itself. Now I did do that for one of my cards. Um, Another thing that I'm bringing in that's new actually, and it's offered um, for our Sale-A-Bration that's now started, and it'll go through uh, February 28th. This is free with a $60 order. Now that amount is in US dollars. This is the Starstruck embossing folder. So this is one of those items that you can get. And I'm going to use it in one of the cards that I am making for you today. So with that, let me kind of move this out of the way. And let me bring in everything for my first card. Now ahead of time, I did do a little, I did some punching and embossing ahead of time. So I have here a piece of basic white thick. This measures 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4.25. I have a piece of basic black. This measures 5.25 by 4. I have a piece of basic white. This measures 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. And then add a scrap of the basic white. I had punched out these two clouds. One of them I did flip over and I embossed it in that Starstruck. Is it Starstruck? It's new, so like, of course I'm not going to remember the Starstruck embossing folder. So you can see there's a really cool pattern on those. Okay, so let me set that aside. Let's fold and burnish our card base. And ahead of time, I did not pull out the stamps that I'm using and mount them on some acrylic blocks. So let me pull those out. Let's get the stamp set. And we're going to stamp the rainbow right here. So let me pull that out of the way. So we got 4 layers. Now these layers here on this rainbow, it's kind of it's not like an even curve. They're a little offset a little bit, so it gives that this like whimsy type feel to it. And then we're going to need our greeting that says a little something to brighten your day. And the colors of ink, I'm going to use my Memento Tuxedo Black ink for my greeting. And then to stamp my rainbow, I'm going to use Bermuda Bay, Magenta Madness, Mango Melody, and Daffodil Delight. Put that aside. Now with this being a photopolymer stamp set, I'm going to bring in my Stampin' Pierce mat. Since there is no foam to the photopolymers, this gives it a little bit of cushion, and that's not very clean, and it'll give you a better stamped image. I'll pull out my blocks and we'll put our stamps on here. And we got 2 more here. Okay, so let's bring in this piece of basic white. I'm going to start off with my Bermuda Bay ink. This is now a retired color, and it was definitely one of my favorite colors. I was pretty sad when this one retired. Actually, most of the ink that I am using on this particular card is using retired colors. So I'm going to stamp my larger part of the rainbow right up here, right in the center towards the top. Okay. And then for my next layer, I'm going to use Magenta Madness. And Magenta Madness was in color a few years ago. A nice, really bright fluorescent pink. Now again, this isn't going to line up perfectly. You are going to see some white in between the layers. And I do need to move this where it's more in the camera. I could see that I'm down a little bit. So let me close this up. And let's move over just a little bit here. And then Mango Melody. This was another color. It wasn't an in color. It was a color that was part of our core collection. I was sad when this color retired because I really like this one too. It's a nice, like, bright orangey yellow color. And I'm going to ink that up. And we're going to put this layer right here. Okay. It looks more like an orange, but when it dries, it's going to be a little bit brighter. So when you look at it, it's actually lighter than pumpkin pie. And then our last layer is going to be Daffodil Delight. Put this up. And then we'll add this right in here. Okay. Close that up. We don't want ink all over the place. Okay, let me put these away, kind of get them out of the way. And then I'm going to bring in my greeting and my memento ink. And I'm going to ink this up. And then this I'm going to stamp right up here in this corner. Okay, and I had the little hair in there. That's from my Stampin' scrub. I've had that thing for quite a long time, and I think it's time to replace it because some of the little fibers from it I think is starting to come off on it. I mean, I did get this not long after, well, it was one of the first things I got when I joined Stampin' Up back in 2013, so I've had it for a while. Just going to quickly clean these stamps so that way we don't get any ink on our card. All right, make sure that's clean. All right, so let me move all these out of the way so we have some space here. And I will move that. Okay, I am going to take this piece of basic black and I'm going to bring in my liquid glue. Add some glue to this. Now this is our Tombow multi-purpose glue that is in our annual catalog. I just like to put it in a fine tip glue bottle. I do have a link for these glue bottles in the description. I did get them off of Amazon and they came in a pack of 10. So with this glue, it has a latex in it, so you don't need much at all for your cardstock or paper to stick to your cardstock. So since I don't need a whole lot, using a fine tip glue bottle works perfectly. All right, so let me bring in the card base and I'll add glue to the back of this layer. Okay, and I will center it on my card base like so. So we have our black and white with our pop of color. Okay, let me get some glue oozing out of this, so let me just wipe this off. Okay, and then I'm going to bring in these two clouds and I'm going to bring in my regular dimensionals. I'm going to add some to the back of this, on each one of them actually. Okay, and I'm going to take one of them, place it over on this side here, and take our other one and we'll place it here. And again, when I punched it out, I took one of them and I flipped it over when I embossed it in that embossing folder. Okay, so this one, we'll put this one right here. And then for my embellishments, I'm going to use my, these are the iridescent rhinestone basic jewels. These were in our clearance rack, and I know they have since now sold out, but I did get a whole bunch of them, a bunch of packs of them before they were gone. Let me actually move my lights back. I didn't want them reflecting off of the case of the stamp set, so let me put it back so it's actually on the work surface here so you can see a little bit better. Okay, so I'm going to use 3 of these smaller ones, and I'm going to kind of put them in between these rays here, trying to get a little bit of that rhinestone on each of the colors. What's nice about these, I mean, they're iridescent, but that you can also see through them. So whatever you put them on, you can see that color through them, and that's really cool. You'll really see it really well when I do the next card. That I'm gonna be using some designer series paper, so it's a really cool touch when you use these rhinestones on that. Okay, so this card, really simple, was very quick to put together, and I really like that pop of color on the black and white. So let me bring in the items that we need for our next card. Now the next card, I basically did all the stamping on it ahead of time because I also did some heat embossing on it. So let me bring this in. And then speaking of retired colors, my card base, this is Mango Melody. This is the same as that ink that I used on the first card. I really like the brightness, this yellow-orange color of Mango Melody. I'm hoping one day they're going to bring it back because I really do like this color. So I'm using this for my card base. It's 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4.25. I have a piece of that Sunshine and Rainbows Designer Series paper. This measures 5.25 by 4. Out of that out of that same pack of Designer Series paper, I showed you the one sheet that had a sheet with these rainbows on it. I went ahead and I fussy cut that ahead of time. Then I took one of the greetings that says, "You make me happy." I had stamped this on a scrap of basic black cardstock. I used Versamark ink, and then I heat embossed it using the white embossing powder. Is that blurry? Don't want it to be blurry. Okay, and then we're actually gonna cut that piece up, and then I cut a piece ahead of time. This is the, what is this? This is the iridescent stripe trim. This is in our annual catalog, so you can still get that. So I did cut a piece of this. This measures about 10 inches. All right, so I'm going to fold and burnish my card base. Okay, I'm going to bring in my glue, and I'm going to adhere my DSP to my card base. Okay, and we will center this right here. Okay, then we're going to close this up. On the back of my rainbow here, I'm going to bring in my dimensionals, and I'm going to add 4 on here. Then I'm also going to bring in my mini dimensionals as well. We're going to need those. Okay, so then I'm going to take my Stampin' Seal. I'm going to add some right about here. And then I'm going to take this ribbon here and I'm going to kind of zigzag it. I want to kind of have it even. Okay, and then I'm going to add that right here to my card. And then my rainbow, let's take off these backings. Okay, and then I'm going to add that right here over my ribbon. Okay, and then on my rainbow, I'm going to bring in my Wink of Stella, and I'm just going to add some to this rainbow. Okay. Then this greeting that I had already heat embossed, I'm going to bring in my snips here. And I'm going to trim this down. I'm actually going to separate all these words. And then I'm going to trim them. Now I'm not worried about, you know, if I'm not cutting straight. They'll just kind of add a little bit of that whimsy to it if it's not straight. Okay. Let's get all our pieces of cardstock out of our way. And then go to me. Didn't completely snip that. Okay. All right, let's do our make. Okay. And then we'll do the U. Let's just snip it right here. Okay, so now that we got that cut apart, let's get rid of all those little scraps. Now for this, I can use either my black or white mini dimensionals. I don't have my mini black ones up here. So the white ones, they'll work fine. So I'm going to bring in my Take Your Pick tool. And I find it's a lot easier to manage these little dimensionals using this. Okay, so we're done with that, and we're done with that. And now let's put down the U. Now again, I'm not worried about these being straight, but let me make sure that I'm in the view here. So we'll add the U. Make. Me. Happy. Okay, so that's that part. Now let's bring in these rhinestones again. And this time I'm going to use one of each size. So there's 3 different sizes of rhinestones in here. And my little paper backings did not go in the garbage. So again, you can kind of see through these. So when I place them over this pattern paper, you can kind of see those colors come right through it, which I think is really, really cool. And then we'll put one right up here. Okay, so there is our second card. So let me just get this stuff out of the way and show you what that looks like. Very cute card. So let me bring in the first one that we did. So we have a lot of color with our, that's popped on our simple black and white card. And then we used a lot of the color, and then we accented it with the black cardstock with the white embossing powder. So there are our 2 cards for this episode of Throwback Thursday using the Rainbow of Happiness bundle along with the Sunshine and Rainbows Designer Series paper that was part of the Sale-A-Bration offering back at that time. Now, I don't have my catalogs right here with me, but FYI, if you didn't already know, the new January to April mini catalog has now gone live since this past Tuesday, the 7th, along with Sale-A-Bration. If you would like a copy of those catalogs, my email is in the description of the video. Please send me an email and have your full name and mailing address. Now, only if you are living in the United States and you are not working with another demonstrator, only because with the cost of postage and mailing them out, again, it would only be fair that if you've been ordering from another demonstrator, request it from them. A couple of things that I do want to mention, like I said, the new catalog has gone live along with Sale-A-Bration. I have sent out my newsletter this past Tuesday with all the information what's going on. There's quite a bit. I have my video schedule for the month of January out there. I also have information about Sale-A-Bration, the new catalogs, some of the other things that are going on. We also have a new digital scrapbooking brochure as well. I have a link for that in the description. I also put that in my newsletter. Last year, every month, Stampin' Up! Came out with 2 new kits in their kits collection for the month of January, they came out with 3. So my newsletter even has that information in it too, with pictures of what those kits look like and what's in them. What's really cool, there's one kit that's a set of cards, and then there's another kit that can create little small gift cards along with little gift bags that coordinate with the other kit of the full-size cards. So there's a lot of stuff that I put in that newsletter. So if you would like to receive my newsletters, the link for it is in the description. Just click on that, add your name and email, and I will get that one sent out to you. Uh, so tomorrow is Friday. I typically do my Friday night lives at 7 p.m. Central. The one thing that I'm going to mention is that I probably will not actually be live. I will pre-record that video and I will then post it at 7. Let me show you what I'll be using. I will be using the Friendly Seagulls stamp set. This is actually one of the offerings in Sale-A-Bration, just like the embossing folder that I used for um, my clouds here. This is another offering, so I will be featuring this one. I love the seagulls. I'm from Long Island, and going to the beach, you always saw the seagulls, and I just thought this was just the sweetest looking stamp set. So this is what I'm going to be working with for Friday, or tomorrow night actually. The reason why I'm going to pre-record it, I'm just going to play it safe. So there's been a lot of weather related stuff that's been going on. So last weekend up north, they dealt with a lot of snow, and a lot of places dealt with freezing rain and ice and all that. Now there's another storm that's going to be coming through tonight, and it will go basically all through Friday. So they're not talking about any like frozen precipitation, like any ice. It's just going to be snow. But they're talking about that we could easily get somewhere between 6 to 7 inches of snow, and not knowing if we're going to get a lot of wind or not, and not knowing if the internet will go in and out. I figured let me go ahead and pre-record it, um, and then post it that way. I know that I can get it recorded without, the internet going out and all that, because like I said, the storm is not going to start until late tonight. There is in YouTube, I haven't used this before, but there is a little tab that says community on it that I can post the comments. So what I will do, I will post about my Friday night live is actually going to be a kind of live. So it's pre-recorded, but it will be posted at 7 p.m. I know a lot of you like to watch live, but I just want to make sure I can get that video done without any interruptions and no internet problems as well. I do want to say that my prayers are going out to all of those people who dealt with that severe weather, with the snow and the ice up north last weekend. What was it? It was Sunday, I believe. Um, I also want to say some prayers too for those of you that are out in Southern California that are dealing with those really bad firestorms. I guess that's what you can call it, with all of that wind. Just be safe. If you're told to evacuate, please evacuate. Don't wait, because the way that fire's going, the way the wind's blowing it, it's just a really bad situation, and I know that it's a real battle for all those firefighters trying to get it put out. So my prayers are with you as well. And for those of you like in Texas and Dallas area, Arkansas, I think even Oklahoma, um, Tennessee, of course, and Mississippi, and I think Alabama and Georgia, I know that all of us are going to be dealing with the winter weather. So all of you, be safe as well. Um, if you don't have to get in your car and drive anywhere, then please just stay home. You don't want to be slipping and sliding out there. So my prayers are with all of you too. So everyone, thank you so much for joining me. And again, my Friday night live will be a Friday night kind of live. Tomorrow I will post info about that. And again, links to everything that I made mention about the new mini catalog, the new scrapbooking brochure, and all that wonderful stuff. The links are in the description of the video. So until next time, everyone, be safe and have a blessed one. Oh, and stay warm too. Bye bye.